We're streaming.
All right,
We're
you
live,
ready?
man.
Let's go. Hodl, hodl,
Huddle,
hodl.
huddle.
Save,
Save, save,
save, save.
save.
Build a, build a,
Build
build a.
it.
Sound
Sound money.
money, sound
Sound
money.
money.
All right, it's ugly old goat with Eddie here. You,
Yeah, not as pretty as the goat lady, but yeah.
no, I didn't say that yet, but
We
you're
always
not the
do.
goat lady. You
Okay.
need to get a stage name. Do you want to be Eddie or I
I
call
like Jesus.
Jesus?
That's
Okay,
my
Jesus.
first
I mean,
name.
Jesus. But in English, we don't. Okay,
Jesus.
Jesus is my sidekick here. So, and which is a normal name in Mexico and in Spanish. It's in the English language for some reason they consider it blasphemy. I think to use the name Jesus, but I see nothing wrong with it. It's actually I had a friend of mine in high school. He was an exchange student.
Really?
Yeah, he was from where was it? He was anyway. He was down from close to Mazatlan, and of course they're all known as Chewy. That's the
Oh,
nickname.
Chewy. Yeah,
Chewy,
yeah, yeah,
Chewy
yeah,
is
yeah.
Also, so guys, I got a really good show I think today, and some stories to tell.
Yep.
Did you have a good weekend?
Mine was good. It was all right. I was with my kids. We were playing. We had a barbecue, and yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
and
good.
I kind of had a stressful week, and yeah, I'm a little bit on edge because my website's not ready, and I'm ready to go with this conference, but we're just delayed a few days, and I don't want to proceed. I just know better till all my I's are dotted and T's are
T's are
crossed. I can
crossed.
wait. I know what's coming. I know this is going to be a great conference, and everybody's going to say, and I know it's a bargain. So you can't
Yep.
try and price a vacation like
Well,
this,
let's.
guys, and you can't. Yeah, there it is, and yeah, you can. Kind of the good news is because of the delay, I'm going to keep the price
Right.
down here till July 4th, after July 4th, and
Well, that's
hopefully
good.
we'll be promoting by the end of the week. But guys, just to give you a hint, if you want to, you can push on any, not here, but
Go
go
to
to
the
the
panelists.
panelists. But they're not all on there yet. We got a few more bugs to work out. But you
Okay,
can
here we
literally
go.
push on the your favorite speaker
Let's
and
say,
get your
for instance,
conference
tone.
ticket. Yeah, hit tone. There you go. And there you go. You'll get a 15% discount. Look, and that's what, I don't want to have him on yet because, I know we're going to sell this thing out, and I think it's going to be at the Giacomo's little node school. So, and anyway, these register for
Register.
conference. You hit that, and it takes you right to our
Oh,
website,
all
and you
right.
get 15% off.
All
And it's priced
right.
in Bitcoin. We only take Bitcoin. So it's really cool. But I
Yeah.
don't have all the speakers up there because I want them all to benefit. We're on the Bitcoin standard, guys. And so this is my little, and I just have what, on Twitter, about, I don't know, 12,000 followers. And
Oh, here's Jimmy.
yeah, I'm not, people are going to come to see me, but they're
Yeah.
going to come to,
And here's his schedule, guys. So
so it's going to be a great one. And we've got the panels. Oh, we're not promoting that today. We're here to do a book review, and cover some
Okay.
other issues. It was a
Okay, so
really
here it is.
interesting weekend too. I'll tell you. In fact, before we review this book, let's go look at that article that George Selgin wrote. He's from Cato
one?
Institute. This was just a well-researched dynamite article. And guys, there's all kinds of links to it. I mean, look, George Selgin's a scholar. Something you can't scoff at this. And this is not, we're all on the side of sound money here. This is an in-house debate, but maybe we're going a little bit too fast here. And there are certain things that I think should be really discussed before this thing proceeds. We're not. I mean, I'm open that El Salvador turns into the modern day Hong Kong of the Americas, and it's
Really?
possible. Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but I think there's some very strong objections to the way this legislation was written, and it was carelessly done and quickly done. And I've actually even getting some, a little bit of feedback. What do you call that? Feedback, not positive feedback from people that live in San Salvador. So, what are you guys doing coming down here? And in running our country. So we got to be sensitive to these things, and I think that this, I mean, this could be the best thing since Santa Claus. I think, and I'm not opposed to the general idea, but I was a little bit. I did a poll. Pull up that poll. I just did it for
poll.
24 hours, but it was really interesting. I was really surprised when I first posted it. Was running very strongly and saying that that the law does not this Article 7 does not comport with monetary freedom. But then as people started examining it and looking at it, the poll actually turned, and it's really a pretty even split, although people are realizing, hey, there's a problem here, particularly with Article 7. And I think the George Selgin's article addresses that, and he addresses all the other articles, so it's not a matter of just putting it in context with all the other articles. There's some real issues here that need to be seriously addressed.
Right,
and
right.
you know, we've got we've got the intellect. We have Bitcoiners are a smart group of people. This is almost like a Bitcoin constitutional convention. We
Right.
are working out new things. You know, legal tender is in our Constitution. And what I have view, well, maybe it was a mistake. Certainly, they dealt with slavery the best they could at the time.
Right.
But it's definitely in our Constitution. They had a mechanism to eliminate it, and it was. But you know, we fought a bloody war over it, and so this is, you know, anyway, it's just a very good article. If you haven't read it, read it. The footnotes are fantastic. It goes to a lot of different articles. So this is not something that I think can be dismissed. I don't think anybody should have a knee-jerk reaction on it. I think that, you know, I invited George to come to the conference.
Really?
Yeah, he's getting surgery, rotary cuffs, but I said, well, just come for the conference, because I think it'd be
Good.
yeah. And you know, I knew him way back when, and he's been around a long time, and you know, he's a sound money guy through and through, and he's for liberty. You know, we just don't, because it doesn't fit your particular agenda. There's a lot of in-house debates within the sound money movement. And again, what I teach is sound money. Now, I believe Bitcoin is sound money.
Right.
So I don't have any problem with that. But I am not a maximalist in that sense. I'm a Bitcoin standard bearer, and so that's how I distinguish myself. But let's move on. I wanted to do this review. So what I did is I actually left our home that has hot water and running water and electricity, and went to our new house that has neither. But a nice view, and just
Right.
all the family. I mean, if I want to have a family, I got to be where they're at, and it's a lot more fun out there. Kids love it, and so you know, we have internet, but we turn on the
you?
yeah, we turn on the
Oh,
generator. It's
I
not
didn't know
very
that.
good. It's kind of real slow. It's not like we have here, but I
But
did
you have internet.
I have internet.
Okay,
I was
well, that's
able to write
good.
a
That's
medium.
good. That's good.
But I didn't turn it on. Instead I read this book, and this is it. It's The Promise of Bitcoin.
Oh, you can show it there.
Here,
on
this
camera.
one.
There,
That
there,
one,
we go.
right.
There we go.
The
There we go.
Promise of Bitcoin.
There
Okay.
it is. There it is.
And it's written by Bobby C. Lee, who I've met twice. I think I met him first at the Unconfiscatable. And then I met him when I was in Miami. He had a booth and stopped by. I had a good talk with him. And incidentally, I'm going to give you this. This is his. He has a new hard wallet called Ballet, and I bought several of them. In fact, this is for you, because
Oh.
we need to test that out.
Oh,
I
all
haven't
right.
set mine up yet, but we need to set that up, because he says of course, he invented it, but he says it's the best hard
Right.
wallet out there because it's the easiest one to use. So, and I have no reason to doubt that.
Oh,
so I need
wow.
to test it, and
Check this. out.
because I just ordered a
You
bunch
guys
of
see
those.
this? Yeah, I think.
We're getting the jade. Did I tell you that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got 5. They're on their way.
Oh,
man.
wow.
So in our bag
Yeah.
for the conference, we're going to have like 500 jades, and we're gonna put. And so I'm thinking maybe we should put one of these in there too, and go head to head, because you Yeah, as a Bitcoiner, you need a good hardware wallet, and if I use Trezors now,
Mm.
and I love Trezors, but I want to try see what else is new out here, and the Jade has got nothing but good reviews, and it's done by blockchain and or
Right.
block, at any rate. Anyway, it's done by a good organization, and this one is too, and so that's your today's assignment. So because I got
Thank
one
you.
I've opened up and haven't done yet, so we need to we'll
Yeah.
figure that out, and then you
I'm
can
the
do
guinea pig, huh?
No, you'll actually can tell. You have a Tracer, right? So
Yeah, I
you
have
can,
one.
You can relate to everybody the difference between this and Tracer and which
Oh,
one you
wow.
like the best. So
This is nice. This
yeah,
this looks
no, it's
nice,
real nice.
man.
Save that case too, because that's actually
No, no, no. I'm
a
actually just gonna.
collector's edition.
Yeah, actually, I'm
He
gonna keep it
actually
in there.
made
So
that for the Miami conference. So I mean, if you have one that with that sleeve on it, it's quite unique. I ripped mine open so because I couldn't figure out how to slide it out like you just did. So anyway, pretty cool stuff. So let's get to the excuse me. All right, let's get to the review of Bobby's book. And guys, I was just pleasantly surprised because I really was kind of expecting more of a technical book, and a lot of these Bitcoin books, they're really quite boring, um, and they're focused on one thing, uh, uh, an idea, and which is nothing wrong with it. There's a lot of good stuff out there, but this book is really very personal, and it just I did not. I was keyed up. I didn't really. I knew I needed to relax. I thrive on stress, so that's not really a problem. And yet I knew I was too stressed out. In this book, I was able to, I thought, well, I'll read it because this will, keep me stressed out. But it didn't. I actually started reading it, and I was able to relax because it was like he invited me into his home. It's like I got to know Bobby Lee through his book, which is that's a hard task to do. This is his first book too, and he starts right out with his own introduction, which. I thought maybe it was going to be a little bit of an ego trip, but it's not. It wasn't at all. It just once he found his rhythm. I mean, the book really flows well. But he said, "My journey into Bitcoin," and it gets very personal, and then he goes through and talks about his family. You get to know the family of the Lee and the Lees and the Chungs, and just a lot of good stuff. And then once he lays that background, it becomes evident of all the things that he teaches in his book. And I mean, there's a few little things I don't agree with, but for the most part, it's extremely sound. Especially, I just he keeps you on focus. This is a good book if you're an OG, if you've been in Bitcoin a long time. And actually, I've been in Bitcoin almost as long as he has, but I don't have the tech background he does.
okay.
He knows it, and he's well educated.
Tech savvy.
He's tech savvy, a lot smarter than I am too. But also very human. Just very comes across. We tend to view Chinese as those people way over on the other side of the world.
Right.
But after it just felt like my brother after I read the book. Now I get wow, this is really good, and just a lot of good stuff. He talks about the three horsemen, mining wallets and exchanges, also different things. Which one did I really like? Just all of them. But how to invest in Bitcoin's world of the greatest resources. Bitcoin is only going up. It's a better way of doing business. Just there was all kinds of stuff and good money management. Let's see if I can find. There was one that hit me. I was sleeping on this and woke up. Said, he really did a good job on this. He said things to avoid, and I thought this was pretty good. Well, let me read through my thing first, and then I'll go back and we'll go into more details. All right, this is my Sunday read, and I want to review it while it's still fresh. So I actually read it yesterday afternoon. and I didn't have internet. I had this book. I read from a real book instead
Right.
of the electronic, uh, you know, and
The
that's
Tinder.
something
Kinder,
like
what is
a
it?
book.
What's it called? Kinder or Tinder? The little electronic book.
Kindle.
Oh, Kindle.
Yeah,
There we
I
go,
kind of use
Kindle.
my phone and computer anymore because you can get you don't need a Kindle to read on
Right,
Kindle.
right,
But there's nothing that reads better than having a book in your hand. It just works better. And so this was it, and I really enjoyed it. Uh, like I said, I met him for the second time in Miami, and he had this book, and I was really surprised. Said, "Wow," because I know what a big project is. I just wrote a little. I wouldn't call it a book. It's more like a pamphlet that we're trying to get published before
Right.
and it won't have an ISBN or any of that. We just want to get it out before the conference. Uh, and I didn't get around to reading it, even though I've had it since the first of the month till yesterday. And I want to put you in the mood of where it got me. I had a stressful week, and that's okay. I live on stress, but at times it can be too much, so much that you have to work at unwinding. And believe me, it was not my intention to unwind. I did not want to unwind. The miracle is that I did, and this book was a large part of it. It was very relaxing I just enjoyed it because he told me his personal story and his personal walk with Bitcoin. And he knows so much he was experienced so many different things that than I have, and knows so many details that it was very eye opening for me. Uh, so it's not it's a different Bitcoin book, and so I just speak very highly of it. The cover, the only thing I don't like is the cover, but this is the first edition. So, and I got it signed. Hopefully, this will be a collector's piece. Look at that. I actually got it signed and everything. So, but now, yeah, that's my biggest criticism. The Bitcoin thing came across. I didn't think this. Look at this cover. It doesn't look like it's going to be a personal story.
Not really.
Yeah, it looks like this is serious Bitcoin, but it is. It's his personal journey and giving us some really sound advice all the way through it. So, okay. Any rate, so I thought, well, it's probably going to be, this is what I've done, and he's not. Comes across as a very humble guy. You could see it was his first book, and it just started to get a hold of me, okay? And from the Chew and Leaf families to Craig, I found it fascinating. He has the Craig Wright theory that he's just one of three of who Satoshi is. There's all kinds of theories, but it's not important. But people, it's a fun issue to address. So the book pulled me in. It relaxed me until I fell asleep, and then I woke up, and then I started reading it again. And I did this about 3 times, and that's how I relax. I'm an old guy. I'm sitting there, and I doze off, and I've got all this REM sleep going on in my head.
I doze off.
Yeah, and then I wake up, and I did that about 3 times. I was good. I was up. I finished the book in about 2 more hours, and I was done. It was great. So maybe it was because I had all that REM sleep.
Wow.
It just invigorated me, but
Huh?
yeah, I just thought it comes from the way I put it. It's excellent at every level and comes from a very level head. So he has a knowledge of history, and not just Bitcoin history, which was a very pleasant surprise to me. Now he knows his ancient to recent history. And he knows not just history, but he knows philosophy. And not just philosophy, but economics. And not just the tech and computer science. He knows all that. He didn't go into it in any heavy way. It's written for the layman in a way that we can understand. So it's not a technical book, but it's a very personal one. And that surprised me, and a pleasant surprise. And I think both of the Lee brothers, the Renaissance men, and I think Bobby particularly has realized the blessing that he has received through his family and through Bitcoin, and he didn't have to write this book. He wants to because it's his passion, and it comes through. So, and I really liken it to Saifedean's Ammous is the Bitcoin standard, which gave us a foundation in academia. I would describe this book as like a blue collar view of Bitcoin, where the tire meets, and I call it the off road of the world because we're down here in the Baja.
Right.
So I think that that's a
That's
pretty
good.
good analogy. And it's written both for the noobs. If you're new to Bitcoin, I highly recommend it. If you've had a longer history in Bitcoin, I've been in it since 2013. I've been in sound money my whole life. And it was really a great book. And William Tyndall, who was a Christian martyr, he once proclaimed before visiting clergy, "If God spare my life ere many years pass, I will cause a boy that driveth the plow shall know more of the scripture than thou dost." And this was the view of the Reformation Christians then, that the basically the Catholic Church had control of Scripture. That, they chained it to the pulpit, and that people couldn't read it, but they would tell you what it says. And it's kind of very much the sound money movement. We have these priests that tell us what money is, and we need to go back to understanding what it is. And that's why this thing that's going on in San Salvador is so important, because this is an opportunity for people to understand what money is all about. And so I think it's very important that whatever is being done down there be very transparent. And I'm very hopeful on that. Which, incidentally, I did send. I don't have any direct contacts with Seljan or Jack Mallers, but George, I did send them the Zoom, so I doubt that they'll be coming on. But I wanted to invite both of them because I think, this is going to not go away. This is going to just continue to go until it gets addressed.
Right.
So, at any rate, then Tyndall was actually echoing Erasmus's famous inscription in the preface of his great New Testament: "I would to God that the plowman would sing a text of the scripture at his plow, that the weaver would hum them to the tune of his shuttle." Now, Bobby Lee's book is hardly scripture, but you know what? It is a song from his heart about Bitcoin, and it's well spoken. And sharing his rich Bitcoin experience is a blessing for all of us. And, thank you, Bobby, for this book. I mean, I was very pleasantly surprised. Hopefully you'll go into many printings. And we need to get an artist to do your cover design, because it's
Crappy.
no, it's not crappy. It's just, that's a big project they put together. This
The
was
cover,
actually,
right?
this
The
is a
cover. Talking about the
2021
cover,
book.
guys.
It just came out. So it's, believe me, I know it's not easy.
Yep.
So at any rate, thank you so much for the book. I don't know. I enjoyed it. All right. Let's go through. Yeah, I don't know that I need to cover anything else. What else did I want to cover? Do we have any questions up there?
No, they're just saying hello over here.
Did we? Oh, pull up that poll. We did do that poll. Did we show the poll yet?
I think so, yes.
All right. So
Well,
the
you
poll
kinda-
that we did. Yeah, does Article 7 of El Salvador's Bitcoin legal tender law comport with monetary freedom? It reads, "Every economic agent must accept Bitcoin as payment when offered to him by whoever acquires a good or a service." And like I say, when that poll first popped up, everybody, said, "Oh, the poll's not, that's not a fair poll." Well, it's a very fair poll, and the question's very fair too. And I pointed this out, on at my view of when I started reviewing the Miami conference. The keynote speaker, who was Ron Paul, and Ron Paul, says, "Hey, I've worked all my life to repeal legal tender laws, and here we are passing them in San Salvador." So there's at the least there's an oxymoron here. There's a paradox. There's an inconsistency that should be addressed, and it's not it's not an either or issue. And I think that these things they need to be discussed. And there's like I say, go through when you read this article. I mean, he addresses it very thoroughly, and each point. And then when he says, "Well, how can this legislation be improved?" He actually offers some solutions there. So, all I'm not. I don't claim to be the intellect to address these issues. But I do have enough intellect that they should be addressed. And so that's where it's at. Yeah, then he goes through and addresses all these
There's
different.
7.
Yeah, he actually puts it in English. Of course, the legislation is written in Spanish, and a lot of people like say they have a knee-jerk reaction, and they say, well, this is we have to, it's pragmatic to do this, not theoretical. Well, I think a lot of people argue, no, it's not pragmatic. That this is structurally it's not even, you can't even make that argument. There's a structural deficiency here that should be addressed. And my understanding is it can be addressed.
Like this right here.
Mhm. Right. And then he'll go through. Yeah, he goes through. I mean, he goes through the whole thing, and I like I say, we don't have time. I really want to get him on here. And to me, the biggest issue is not so much it is what he says, because it's very well done. But what's disappointing to me is that so many in the Bitcoin community have just come out. Oh, this is we have to do this. This is, no, we don't have to do this. This is not, is this really in the spirit with what Bitcoin and free market money is about? And that's a serious concern, and it's written by a legitimate scholar who has documented all that he is saying, and also has made some worthwhile suggestions. And his conclusions are, you can go down to the conclusion, and he says it is not pragmatic. Selden's not an idealist. He's also very pragmatist.
Here's something that someone wrote.
Right. Okay. All right. So let's go down to the conclusion of that article.
All right.
Well, he actually comes in keep scrolling down, because first of all, he criticizes it, and then he offers solutions. Keep going. Okay. Keep going. Okay.
Cashing out?
No. Okay, and then he said, "Yeah, this is I recognize this too. When I read it, I saw his black box, and it says, yeah, there's a black box here that they have. How are we going to do this?" And so there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, because there is an arbitrage between this, and there's no such thing as free. I mean, and I knew that. I mean, Jack Mallard was saying, well, it's all going to be free, but he said, but it's free like Robinhood is free. Well, Robinhood's not free, guys. If you know markets, Robinhood, they have a bit and an ass. There's a slippage in there. There's no commission, but it's not free, okay? You can basically get around those fees by doing your own arbitrage, but most people don't know how to do it. And so, I mean, I get it, what Jack Maller's doing. He's making it easier for people. I have no problems with that. I have no problems with having multiple jurisdictions. I think that's one of the things that I teach, is that I don't think exchange risk is that big a factor anymore. I think the big coming risk is going, the big problem is going to be your jurisdictional risk. Well, is this a setup for disaster, or are we on the path of really making San Salvador into a new Hong Kong of the Americas? So, and there's been, like I say, there's been some what do they call pushback. I actually got pushback from people living in San Diego, or not San Diego, San Salvador, and say, hey, well, what are you guys doing? We don't want Americans down here writing our laws. And that's what they feel like is going. I'm not saying that's what's happened, but that's a legitimate criticism. So there we go. Let's see, keep going down. I mean, he made okay, this is the problem. This is the practical thing. He's saying, this is not necessarily even a pragmatic thing to do because you don't want to be doing it if particularly if you're set up to structurally fail. Okay, so let's scroll down. And then he says, doing it right. And he says, some Bitcoin law apologists have challenged me to suggest legislation El Salvador might have adopted that would allow Bitcoin to compete on a level playing field with the US dollar without compelling anyone to use it. In fact, that's easy. One only has to take the present law and delete both Article 7 and those other articles that serve no purpose without it. The resulting articles, once again, omitting those that are relatively unimportant and allowing that the details could use more filling in, reads as follows. And so he goes through and outlines this and actually, tries to say, okay, let's amend the legislation. Why is this a problem? Why? And then if you look at the history of how quickly this thing was run through, they just haven't had the debate that you should and need to have before you do these things.
That was a conclusion.
Yeah, read the conclusion. He concludes basically what I've already said. Yeah. Go up.
There we go. More?
Yeah, more up. He actually writes a conclusion. Yeah.
No, that's it.
Well, no, I think somewhere. I think he actually had a. Is there more down there? No.
I believe no.
All right. All right. So, at any rate, guys, I just think I don't think George has opened up a can of worms. He's just pointed out to a problem. Maybe, I mean, it is a can of worms, but the can of worms is there, and he's pointing it out. And this thing, those that are behind this thing should not be afraid to address these issues. That's all I'm saying. Would such a law have succeeded in turning Bitcoin into a nation's money overnight? I very much doubt it. But I'm not expecting that. But it would have set the stage for a grand experiment in which a nation's citizens might spontaneously adopt Bitcoin as their preferred means of payment without incurring any artificial penalties by doing so, and also without being compelled to. That is an experiment I'd like to see conducted on every nation on the planet. Alas, unless the Bitcoin law is amended, if any ever tries it, it won't be El Salvador. So guys, he's not arguing against the law. He's saying, look at this thing before you do it. Let's amend it and let's get it right.
Is this what you mean by the ending? The conclusion?
Pardon?
Is this a conclusion?
No, that's a footnote. The conclusion is that last paragraph up there. Okay. So, anyway, I think I'm not ignoring this article. I think it's very well done. And I think those that are promoting this, and you need to look at the history of the Bitcoin Beach. The Bitcoin Beach is a creation of Bitcoin. It's not like you're going down there, going to a city like Rio. I believe in community, guys. I'm here in the Baja. I don't live in the expatriate community. The Bitcoin house where we are not. We're not in. No, we're not in a gated community. We're living right here.
We're out in the open.
We live with the natives.
Population and there's a school. What, like 2 houses down
right
from
across
yours?
the street.
Right across the street.
Right across the street. And so, we are part of this culture and part of the society. So we're not trying to build a separate thing. And I'm not.
Right.
And I don't. When I have an audience for Bitcoin, I do it. But I am not of the altruistic thing where we're going to bank the unbanked. Most people are unbanked for a reason. So my view, and I might be wrong on this, and that's why I'm not really big on the remittance thing. Maybe somebody's going to solve that. But somebody has also said, well, this is just same as Ripple, but it's using Bitcoin or Lightning, as its background. And guys, I'm not against Lightning. I've just never really endorsed it because I don't get it. I really don't. I've tried to get it. people have tried to get it through to me. I'm not, the brightest turnip on the block either. So maybe but I'm kind of a good gatekeeper because,
Right,
if you're
right.
trying to bank the unbanked, and I don't get it, how you get other people to get it? Now, granted, there's a generational difference. I don't like using my cell phone, and most people do now. But
Even I don't like to use my cell phone. I mean,
yeah, I mean, I don't even
too
have a
much
cell phone wallet.
technology,
I
I
need to
think.
get a cell phone wallet, but I have no desire in doing those transactions, and it's silly for me to. And so, what I teach is that I use Bitcoin as my treasury, and the transition is going to be there's two kinds of entrepreneurs in the world: those entrepreneurs that have Bitcoin and those that don't. Entrepreneurs, by their very nature, by definition, they produce things. They have. If you're an entrepreneur, unless you're doing something illegal, you've got a bank account.
Yeah.
I mean, I contract with you. You got to have a bank account. You have to have your
Hacienda, yeah.
or you can't work for. You
got-
know
you
what?
gotta pay your
You're
taxes,
not qualified to work for me if you can't get your hacienda. Yeah, it requires a little bit of paperwork, but they have a little government program and everything. But you got, to some degree, if you're going to live in a jurisdiction, you're agreeing to their rules. And so I live in Mexico, and their laws apply. As much as some of them I don't like, I still am under their jurisdiction and their laws. And if when I'm in the United States, I'm under the United States laws and jurisdictions. And so that's the risk. That's what I call jurisdictional risk. And we'll see how this thing in San Salvador goes. But let's not say that this is monetary freedom when you got all kinds of problems here at the very convention where this was announced. And again, why do you announce a monetary policy at a Bitcoin convention for a country? That's a really pretty good question and how this thing has been passed is another thing. I mean, it's almost like, we're repeating all the same mistakes all over again. And at the very same convention where this was announced, Ron Paul had just given a keynote speech about legal tender laws should be abolished. So these are not issues that we can just come in and say, well, Bitcoin's going to solve this, Bitcoin's going to solve that. There's more to these things than just Bitcoin. Okay. All right. I don't know the Apicus explanation. If you want to put a link there, we'll be glad to look at it. But at any rate, guys, that's all I had to say. I reviewed the book. We did a poll. I think there's an issue here that's going to become a growing issue in the next couple of weeks. I think it's not going to go away. And I think it's a good issue. I really do. So, yeah. And like I say, the poll it's definitely divisive because it's a 50-50 split, and the people that say it's not against monetary freedom, they think that they tend to be very shallow about it,
Right.
And they don't want to discuss it. So. Okay, and there's George. He says, I promise not to waste our time by saying things you expect. Which, that's true. I'm glad you did that article, George, man. It was really good. It was an eye-opener for me, and it needed to be done. So, I know that you're not well loved in a lot of Bitcoin circles, but in my mind, I love you, and I know you're a sound money advocate, and I also know that you're not opposed to Bitcoin at all. It's just that you're a critic, and there's problems, and I think you did a very good job of addressing it. And guys, if Bitcoin's anti-fragile, if our ideas are anti-fragile, then we shouldn't be afraid to address them. I don't know that I have a better solution, but I certainly think that the criticism is justified, and would love to, let's move this discussion to San Salvador, You know, what do you know? It's not my thing to do it, and I mean, yeah, read the history of the passage of the thing, and it kind of it raises some red flags and concerns. That is it, you know, what's really going on here? So, all right, and love to have. I have trying to open up some spaces of Jack Maller and George Salen to make it to the Bitcoin Standard Conference. Boy, I'd love to have them participate, because it's going to be, that's what this is going to be about. We're going to be hitting the hard issues,
Big
and
things.
we're not going to be promoting this or that, or you know. And I hope to have some sponsors, but if I don't need them. So that's not what this is about. So, all right, guys, go to the Bitcoin Standard Conference website if you like one. I'm not promoting it yet because not all the speakers are up there. The website should be completed, I'm hoping, by Wednesday. And then we'll kind of do a promotion through the 4th, and then I'm sure that we're going to sell out. Once it's sold out, I'm going to raise the price up.
There it is, guys.
Yeah,
Check it out.
and some really good
Carnivory dinner. I really want to go to this, the adventure tour.
Well. And that's
That's fun.
it's going to be a lot of fun.
Can I say that?
If you've never done it before,
Yeah.
we were just out there.
I did it the first time on the ATVs, right? Remember the first time we went there? Yeah, I did it on the ATVs. There I am with the other dude.
Yeah, that was you, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, this is on the way down there.
Yeah.
Here we are. Yep.
So we're gonna have the ATVs too. You can do ATVs, but those are gonna be for the kids too.
There's a blue one, right?
kids.
No, this is the black one.
That
Polaris.
looks like
That's the blue one.
That's mine. That's the
the blue
Yamaha.
one. Yeah.
I think the other one was the
There I
Polaris.
am.
And then we have a Honda. So those are our 3. Now we're gonna have a whole lot more. What I do, where I get my machines guys, is the guy that's actually taking us on the tour. I buy his old machine, not old ones, just one that, you know, he'll buy a new one and he'll move one. So I bought one of his Hondas. The Polaris we got from another.
This is the one that we flipped. That the guys flipped.
Yeah, that's one. Yeah, he was I had
Angel.
a hot shot Angel. He was a hot shot rider. Cost me $3,000 to fix it. I hope he had a fun. People don't understand this.
We're ugly.
It's an
This
expensive hobby, guys.
Yeah,
It's
look
like,
at ugly.
I have
Look at
not
that.
come
Look at that
back
wine.
from a
Look at
trip.
that
where
wine bottle.
That's
That's why he was stuck here.
Is that a bottle of beer or wine?
No, it was wine.
Wine? Oh,
Yeah,
my goodness.
look, I'll show you. Look at that. Red-handed.
Oh, my.
Look at that. Oh, man.
Oh. All right. Yeah. And, guys, it's going to be a kid-friendly deal. We're going to have...
there it is.
Yeah. Goat Lady will be on tomorrow, and she's got more details. We're going to be having our event organizers on right after the 4th. I mean, once you get your ticket, then we need to know when you're going to be there, because we're going to be at the airport or at the border to pick you up, and also to take you back.
That's why they play.
There you go. And they told me, when they rolled it 2.5
Yeah.
times. He's a racer. He races down here. A lot of the people down here race all, but he was a racer, so he was taking it to the limits. And it is kind of amazing, because you can you are safe in the things as long as you keep your. That's where you have a thing to hold on to. The only instruction you have: keep your hands inside. No matter what happens, you're safe, because you're strapped in, and you are
Don't take your hands
surrounded
out.
by metal. And you're not going to get hurt, but don't stick your hands out either. So,
Yeah. Don't.
and but you're not going to be doing anything that dangerous. They kind of now we do have some professional racers that will be coming, so they'll do some things that most of us won't do. But yeah, the guides are pretty good at weeding out if you're new, and the experience, they can tell pretty well when it's
They
just
flipped
like
it over.
yeah, just like anybody that knows his salt around computers, he can figure out where you are in when it comes to technology after asking 3 or 4 questions.
Look at that. They flipped it over.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe.
Boom. Yeah, and then my daughter, you can literally run over a cow while you're on the, there's my daughter wiping out back there.
Let me play it again.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. So this is where they flip it back, guys.
Yeah. And I've actually done that on the beach, so it's not impossible. That's why I don't really
Watch out with the cows, though. Yeah, there are cows on the road.
There are cows on the road. So you slow down for the cows. There, my daughter wiping out on the beach. My 9-year-old.
One more time. There she is. Boom. All the way in the back.
Oh yeah, man. You were supposed to be behind her. Nobody even knew that happened because you were right.
No,
in front of her.
we were actually. No, Ernesto was like, "Hey, can we get some shots of you? Coming in. The ATVs in the back." And I told Esther, go in front of me. She goes, "No, I'm okay. I'll go in the back." And I said, "Are you sure?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm fine." I was like, "All right." So when we kept going, boom, she fell off.
So here's the deal, guys. Carnivory dinner on Wednesday night. So you arrive on a Wednesday. We pick you up. Hopefully you arrive Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon. We pick you up at the airport or the border. We get in, you check in, have a nice dinner that night. Carnivory dinner. And then we start with the conference the next day. And the conference will be, it's going to be a panel format. And they will be subject to change because we don't know what's going to happen between now and again. But we do have a general lineup, and we're going to start out with Thank God for Bitcoin.
Hold on, let me go to schedule conference.
Yeah,
there it is.
So, and I'm going to be hard on me. But we're going to do Thank God for Bitcoin, and we got 3 of the authors on there. And then I know Knut wanted to say, well, I'm an atheist, but I want to be on that panel. I said, oh, well, if you're an atheist, we got to have you on. After all, we do believe in Christian charity. Even. So
and then the difference between
Bitcoin. That'll be interesting because a lot of people, there is a difference, guys. There is a difference. What Bitcoin is and what Bitcoin is, what it is. But the Bitcoin standard is where are we going to go with it? I think that's how I would define it. And then the future of Bitcoin banking. I want to be on that panel. And I think Juan Galt is going. We have different.
He's the moderator there, right?
Yeah, Juan Galt's going to be the moderator on that one. Ooh. And
fun.
Yeah.
And then we get
you know what? Okay, how to use Bitcoin as your treasury. I really, Jesus, you really need to be on these panels because you're learning Bitcoin this year. You've got some really good Bitcoin experience. Yeah. But I really think you need to be a speaker on a couple of these panels because you got some good panel. Well,
I really
don't
want to speak
later.
I really have nothing
because
to
this
say.
is not.
And besides, I'm stage frightened, so I'll get stage fright.
Well, you seem to be doing
okay. Well, this is different.
Okay.
This is different from a stage presence and stage speaking. I'll mumble. Okay, so that was the first day.
Yeah, and then the second day is the other one. We start out competition with currencies and. Will Bitcoin become the world reserve currency? Then this one I want to be on 100% fractional reserve or no reserve. I mean, everybody has a different view, and so And then we have
the politics of Bitcoin.
Yeah, we have a break, which there'll be a snack, I think, with that.
Is this the one with the pool?
No, that's just
that's this one, right?
Well. The pool.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a...
No, the dinner.
Oh, that's the dinner.
Evening.
Oh, okay,
we didn't do that. That's in the evening.
Okay.
Well, you can... Okay.
And then building on the Bitcoin
standard. Right.
Oh, Zazo.
Yeah, Zazo will be on there, so we'll see. And
then ending it with the future of Bitcoin.
Yeah, I might change that one a little bit, but I kind of just final remarks of everybody. We'll figure that out. And then on the Wednesday night, after after the managing. Well, this isn't complete either. Some of these things are not complete.
So guys, I've
changed the schedule, and we can't update it yet. We won't be updated until Wednesday. But that evening, as we do have a poolside dinner before we have the award show, and that's Thursday night. So we'll have and Giacomo Zucco is the speaker at the.
Basically.
Yeah, so you can go down there.
We'll be having a picture here soon.
What's that?
Well, yeah.
That's to be announced. We announced the new Bitcoin Standard Bear, and at and we're having entertainment there. Mm-hmm. Giacomo's going to give a speech. Hopefully, I'm hoping that. I don't think Saifedean can't make it, but I'm hoping he'll be able to maybe tune in. Remotely.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, it'd be nice if he would. So, because these guys, one thing
this is going to be huge.
I want to, build some traditions here, guys. I need to pass this off. This is bigger than me, but somebody has to do it, so I'm doing it. But I'm not doing it because I want to be doing it. I'm doing it because it needs to be done, and I'm not the one that should be. Calling the shots here. I think
it would have been great if Tyler could have been,
I'm sure he's going to be with us in spirit, and so I definitely believe. A lot of people say, "Do we live in a virtual reality?" Well, they're not too far off on that because I think this life is just very temporary, and I believe in eternal life, and I also believe in heaven and hell. So, in that sense, this life is just.
And then we got those.
We have the programming blockchain. That's the 2 days before the conference, the 10th.
Guys, you gotta learn at least have. What did he say? He wants people.
You gotta have
the basics of Python. You
have to have
right?
Python. You have to know Python, and it's not cheap, but it's a very good. It's a great. Once you are there, and it's not just Jimmy teaching you. It's he kind of brings you in as he's your mentor, so he's there to help you beyond the conference and when things pop up. And then running Bitcoin with Giacomo. This is teaching about the node and Lightning Network, which this is the one I wish I could go to, but I can't. And but Tone, I think, is going to come. I want to confirm
on this one?
I think he's going to make it. He had another family conflict. He didn't know he could make it that early, but I think he really wants to.
Here it is.
And we want this to kind of be a vacation for everybody.
Right. Family event.
We're not really. We're not here to. We're here to have fun, to have great discourse, and have fun on the side, but very serious too, and building long-term friendships. So there it is. That's what he offers. There's what you're going to get. And
that's nice.
Yeah. All right.
Yep. There it is, guys.
All of this is.
There it is.
All right. And this is understanding Bitcoin. I did not attend this, but I think this was in Malta. And
was it?
Yeah, and they're either gonna have another one of these, I think, in Dubai. And so I know the summit's coming in Dubai. I need to get back with Tone so I gotta buy tickets, my plane tickets and so forth, if we're gonna and figure out. I kind of want to do a around the world tour.
It is expensive.
Yeah, wow. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So $4,000, guys. You need to order it now. You get a $1,000 discount. But I know my son is going to be going to that, and so is Victor Villacana. So.
Oh, Aaron is going?
Yeah, he qualified. We I bought 2 scholarships for members, and the first 2 that passed.
Was your son
Victor? Yeah, of course I wanted Victor because Victor's done so much for us, and then my son passed too. So it's going to be great because It's going to be a very small class.
Lots and lots of
and they'll get to know
knowledge
Jimmy.
interesting
And
guys, I mean.
so I'm looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to it because it's beyond me. Some things that I'm too old for, and that's one of them. I mean, I just feel like my time is better spent elsewhere. So,
Well, there it is.
all right. Okay. Any other questions? I think we're good to go. Thanks for
think
tuning
we're
in,
good.
guys. And
We'll see
we
you
got. Is there
tomorrow.
Anything, is there anybody?
All right. Hold on.
No, anything on there?
No, they're just commenting.
Okay.
I'll show you what they're commenting.
All right.
Here they are over here.
All right. Okay. All right, guys. We thanks for tuning in. Get this book. It's a good read. It really is very enjoyable. Not in the Ivy Tower level, but very readable, very practical. I call it's like a blue collar book, but the guy's not blue collar because he's high tech. But that's the way it's kind of where the tire meets the road, and it's his personal journey, and he gives excellent advice. Oh, there was one section in here I wanted to see if I could find, but he answered a bunch of questions. Mistakes that people make, and I thought he did a really good job. And some of the things I can just recall, like one of the things that I see constantly done is people sell out all their Bitcoin. They get rid of their hodl. And you don't do that. So hodling is you hodl. You want to sell a portion of your hodl at times, but you want to maintain that hodl. So your hodl isn't fixed. It fluctuates. It can be higher or lower at times.
Right.
And I don't have as big a hodl as I've had in the past, but how many other things do I have now? Just I have a very diverse life, and at one time, when I first started out, Bitcoin was, I had my business, I had an ongoing business.
Right.
I had my capital, the equipment capital that I had, and you and I, we were running a success. We had an income from a business, and we had all the equipment, but I had to save to buy that Bitcoin and to hold it, and that's not easy to do. I mean, because I would give it, like I say, if I'd have given you your bonus back then in Bitcoin, you'd have sold it. That's what
everybody else did.
Everybody else.
I
did.
kind of remember we actually, I think it was a year after that or a year and a half after that, we were talking about it, and wasn't your accountant very happy about that? He was very happy.
Yeah, I don't know that he deliberately did it. He just
I
followed your advice, and I just forgot that I had it. And then
it was at 20,000 at the time.
Right, and I paid him $1,000 bill, and now all of a sudden it was worth almost $100,000 or something. Just so.
He was like, "Thank you."
And but very few do that. Most people I give, boy, they can't. And the guy that built this house, I got him into Bitcoin.
And he sold it.
15%, yeah. And then I asked him, I sold it all because he was going to buy it back cheaper. Well, you can't do that. You just have to. That's hard not to do. I get it, and so you want to sell it when something better comes along.
I kind of got it. That one time I had to get my cyst away, and I thought, even though I've been working with him for a while, it's kind of hard to follow. That first rule is hodling. Don't.
Well, because you got and then everybody, nobody else gets it.
Right.
Your wife and your family. I need. We got this. We got that.
It's not what you want. It's what we're gonna need.
Living is not cheap.
It's and then I don't know, for some reason I kind of followed your advice, and then something came along. That cyst came along, and it was and what was it, like 60 at the time when and I took it out. I think
where was it at the time? Gave it to you when it was 10 or 15,000.
No, 10.
10, yeah. And so
went up to 30 in December, and then.
And so, wow.
Yeah.
I said, well, and then so I'll just spend a little bit for Christmas, but those were expensive. Those Christmas presents cost you 3 times more than you thought, just because you'd have been better off. But I get it, but not really, because you enjoyed Christmas and your family.
Yeah.
You know, life goes on. You have to enjoy life. You're not sitting here.
I can't complain.
No, that's the whole thing.
Life is good.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. The Goat
see
Lady
you
and I
guys
will be
next
on
time.
tomorrow, 9 o'clock Pacific time at noon on the Eastern Seaboard. And
See you guys.
Bye-bye.